Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to another episode of, what was this called again?
Barnacle Battlefront.
Barnacle Battlefront. No! This is the Men of ZEN, an anime research podcast. My name is Brent.
That was a good kick, and my name's Phil.
And I'm Aiden. No, sorry, I can't. Aiden's not here.
We are down one cat boy, if you will.
Aiden is sick. Sorry, y'all. He couldn't make it. He said he really wanted to, and he was like super sorry about it.
Yeah, you know what? He's been putting in a whole lot of work, though, so it's fine. I just hope it's not COVID, because we were with him this weekend.
Nah,
so.
I hope it is. I need a break. from a permanent one, a permanent vacation.
That permanent break.
The permanent sleep. That's what I crave.
The big sleep.
The biggest. I want to take a nap for the rest of my life.
You know, speaking of the permanent sleep, this episode is about the afterlife. A purgatory, if you will.
Purgatory? Tell me more.
So today we are doing one of my favorite animes. I've actually decided this upon rewatching it. It is definitely in my top 5 of all time. Angel Beats.
Whoa! Yes, finally an anime I showed Phil.
Yes.
I found this because I was hella sick one day and hella bored and was like, hey, I watched this show that actually turned out to be pretty good. It was like on Netflix at the time, and I was like, I'm that bored. I just picked a show. I was like, the fuck is Angel Beats? It's got like the new anime art style with like the cutesy schoolgirls. And so, I mean, it wasn't super appealing to me, but honestly, this show is probably one of the best that you will ever watch.
Oh, hands down.
It's so good. It's short and sweet. It's 13 episodes. You could watch it in a sitting if you really wanted to. I guess a lot of people do. You probably could.
Just binge that shit all day long. It is, not only is it one of the best animes of all time, in my opinion, it has one of the best opening songs, one of the best intros. And I honestly, it's one of those. Yeah, exactly. That piano comes in, but it is one of those animes that like I do not skip the opening to any of the episodes. Normally, if I'm watching a show for a while, I'll start skipping it. But yes, just like that. But I watch it every single time, and I watch the ending, the outro, every single time, because the outro also just hits you in the feels. I don't think that's, well, no, that's the sorry, that's the intro. I'll put in a little bit of a clip here, and
DMC as a DMC.
it's a DMCA.
Yeah, or DMC. Yeah, take that, dicks. Do it anyway. The Devil May Cry asses. Or is it DCMA? DMCA?
Yeah,
is that
DMC. Devil May Cock. I don't know.
Assholes, I'm going to
Devil
do it
May
anyway.
Cry, because guess what? You will cry during this, because that's how I did. Like, I'm pretty sure the first time I watched this, I had tears.
What if they were bigger fans of Detroit Metal City? DMCA takedown. Detroit Metal City a takedown.
I don't. Check out that episode on our Patreon.
Yeah, you can sign up on Patreon for a whole $3.
$3 whole.
$3 a month will get you a bonus episode every other week that we don't release one right here on whatever thing you're listening to us on. So you can go do that, please. That'd be amazing.
I just remembered that Patrick meme where he's like, I got $3.
I have $3.
You can go watch our Patreon episodes. Actually, you can just listen to a bunch of our stuff for $3 a month. It's awesome.
Yeah, you can listen to it right on Patreon, right through the app. It's pretty nice. But yeah, we got episodes on Detroit Metal City. If you haven't watched that, one of my current favorites. It's so good.
Oh man, we got Fooly Cooley.
Fooly Cooley. We did an episode on Toonami.
Oh man, that was a good one.
I mean, we don't have a ton of extra content on there right now, so no, I get it, but please Please.
Your man is still looking for a job.
You
Anything
think I get
helps
paid
out.
for this episode that you're listening to? You're getting this for free, you thief. Jeez, I bet you don't even pay for Spotify. It's your parents' account, and somehow you're still getting it. Or maybe you're in college and you get it bundled with whatever shit you get for like $7 a month. I don't know. You barely pay for this. Damn, it's free. But yeah, $3 a month, please. That'd be great.
Yeah, but back to the episode here.
Boom.
Angel Beats.
Produced by PA Works and Aniplex. You know Aniplex.
Oh yeah, I mean, who doesn't know
Aniplex.
Aniplex?
That's one of the greatest just things. I love hearing that sound.
You know you're getting something good when that plays.
Yeah, honestly, like I know PA Works, but I'm not like I can't think of anything off of the top of my head for what they've done. Like I know the name. I don't really know if I see too many things on here. Okay, so they did like obviously Angel Beats. Everything else on here is really at least pretty unknown to me. Oh, they did do Sakura Quest.
Oh,
Okay, they did do Sakura Quest. So if you haven't seen Sakura Quest, that's another great one. That one's a slice of life that I loved. PA Works, I know they're another really big name. So this series, Angel Beats, again, is only 13 episodes. It takes place in, like Phil said, the realm of purgatory. They don't necessarily outright say purgatory, but it is. We know what it is. The main character, Yuzuru Otonashi, is newly deceased. He is sent to this realm in the form of a high school environment, like it's just a high school campus. Typical really big campus, almost looks like a college here in the States. He has lost his memories of his previous life when he arrives there, though. So he's kind of an odd one out. Normally that doesn't happen, but the plot, we got to uncover something. What's the big thing here? Oh, that's it. He's got amnesia. The other inhabitants are basically just NPCs, like the students, the teachers, stuff like that.
Non-player characters, to anyone who doesn't know RPG lingo.
Yep. Now, is it that... So players, or like, not players, but the people that die, they can become NPCs.
Yes. So the scary thing is they don't go into a whole lot of detail. The little bit they do go into is that basically, if you follow the rules in this world, like you go to school and you participate in school events, and you essentially live a normal life in this world, you will be what they call obliterated. And then you'll wake up the next day as an NPC. You won't remember anything about your past life or the life you lived while you were there. You just now become essentially, a puppet, or just somebody who lives out their day-to-day basis here at school. And it's, from what I can tell, it's school year-round. Every single day,
Yep.
There's classes, and these people think they're just in a normal world, but...
Yeah, it's weird. They're very blind to the things that go on around them. They just kind of accept it as this is how it is, and they got to go to school, and it's just normal life. They don't see anything weird.
Right, and the main group of characters, along with Otonashi, their whole goal is they need to survive. They want to find God and essentially demand to know why their lives were such shit. And then they ended up here in the afterlife. Essentially, they look at this purgatory as a second chance at, living their lives, because they were handed such a terrible hand in life. Yeah. And that's one of the things that, as the show goes deeper, you finding out the backstories of a lot of these characters, and you're like, holy shit, God, like, you just want to hold them, you just want to hug them, and just, tell them everything was okay. Like, they lived horrible lives.
Yeah, one of the ways that this show does it super well is that it gets the whole cast together as a group first, and then slowly. So like this group that gets together, they are part of this thing called the Battlefront, right? Or the Not Dead Yet Battlefront.
Yeah, they go through a couple of names like Not Dead Yet Battlefront, Underworld Battlefront,
Barnacle
Battlefront, and their whole goal is basically they refuse to just pass on. They want to essentially find God, like I said, and fight against him and rebel, because they want to know why, like, they had such bad lives if they were good people. And that's a big theme in this show, is basically rebelling and just I don't know. It's hard to really explain this show.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's them, wanting to give the middle finger to God and tell him to fuck off, for like they just like it's bullshit. Like, we get treated like shit in real life, and then we have to come here, and now we're fighting in this weird, just neutral hellhole with like to them they have this enemy known as Angel, and they have to defeat Angel.
Yep, small silver-haired girl who essentially acts as the student body president of this school. Constantly is telling them, you need to obey the school rules, go to class, and she has her own abilities, her own powers that she uses to essentially kill them repeatedly or make their lives difficult. And in this world, you can die, but you'll just be respawned in essentially a couple hours.
Yep, it'll like hurt like hell.
Oh yeah, they make a point of that. It's like, oh, you will come back to life, but it's gonna hurt.
Yep. Like, I know there is a scene where like Otonashi gets just mauled to death by like swords, axes, all sorts of shit, and he's just laying in a bloody pool on the ground, and it does this cutaway scene, and it goes to something else for a minute or two, and then it cuts back to Otonashi, and he's just laying on the floor, and his eyes open, and he like jumps up like he would out of bed, and he's like, yikes, that hurt. Like, he just kind of springs back to life right there. That'd be crazy.
So basically this whole thing is they want to find God, and the only person that they can think of that has some type of connection to God is Angel. She's basically, Angel's been fighting against them since the day they all arrived, and it's kind of hard to tell how long they've been fighting, but it seems like it's definitely been years by the time Otonashi arrives.
Time in this place seems like it doesn't have a whole lot of structure. It just kind of goes. I don't know how long they were technically there, but they were there for a time. But who is they that we are discussing? I feel like I have it narrowed down to maybe the main 6 characters.
Yeah, there are characters they define as the main characters, and other characters they define as the side characters. They're all great, don't get me wrong, but
some of them like are there, like they do one thing and then for like an episode or so, and then they just kind of disappear. You don't really hear from them. Nothing really happens to them. They just kind of are around.
Yeah, they're typically in like every episode. You're going to see like the main cast and like side characters at least one time in the episode, but like they might play a side role or just lead into the next part of the episode. But they're all funny. They're all great characters.
Yeah, so some of our main cast, again, we've got Yuzuru Otonashi, who is like the main character. We have Yuri Nakamura, who is the first girl that Otonashi runs into at the beginning of episode 1. She is seen with like a giant like sniper rifle, trying to take shots at Angel. This again, like this small silver-haired schoolgirl, and she like one of the first things that like happens when he arrives at this place, he runs into her, and she's like, "You want to sign up for the Battlefront?" And he's like, "The what?" Right, like, and she just busts out like the sniper rifle. He's like, "What in the fuck?"
Yeah, so then he goes down and walks up to Angel. He's like, "Hey, so this weird girl's got like a sniper rifle and like pointing at you. She said you're like an angel."
Yeah, he just like goes and confronts her, and she's like, "Yeah." Basically, like, he mentioned something about like dying, and she's like, "I need to prove to you that like." Something about death, and that was one of the first experiences as she kills him, like then and there. Oh, dude, that was so crazy. Like, what a weird way to start the episode. But so this girl Angel is the biggest mystery for, I would say, the first maybe half or so, the first like 6-7 episodes of like, because we don't know like who she is or what her purpose is, other than they believe she has like some sort of connection or tie to God.
Right.
The other main character that I want to include at least is the Hideki Hinata.
Yeah.
He's the like the cool kid of the group. He's like blue hair, wears his like suit all kind of like loosey goose, like his school uniform. He's the one that would like wear it in a fashion that's not school approved, but he would wear it anyway.
I love that guy. He's the ultimate wingman in the show.
Yeah, dude, he's such a bro. He's cool. These next 2 characters I have to introduce. What is it? Masami Iwasawa. She plays the lead singer of a band that is what was it called? It was
Girl's Dead Monster, or Galdemo.
Oh, yep.
For short. Basically, in the Battlefront, there are different sections or different units, each with their own specific purpose, and there's a lot more people that are in this universe than just our main cast. There are hundreds of other characters who are stuck in this world. So Iwasawa, being the leader of the distraction unit, or Girl's Dead Monster, aka Galdemo, her job essentially is to put on these huge performances as a distraction for the other NPCs. The NPCs in this world love Girl's Dead Monster, and at their shows, that's when the rest of the crew steals their meal cards so they can eat the next day, or at least the next couple days, because if they did what they're normally supposed to do and pay for meals and stuff, they could possibly get obliterated. So they have to steal meal tickets.
Yeah, I thought that was really great that they included this. It's a pretty legit band too. Honestly, it's really legit.
Yeah. The music freaking slaps. I will listen to that soundtrack. I've actually doing the research for this episode, I just had that soundtrack playing in the background. It's great.
Yeah. Masami Iwasawa, she's the lead singer and also guitar player for its Girl's Dead Monster?
Girl's Dead Monster,
Dead Monster. I felt like, for some reason, I was thinking it was something else. I knew it was Girl and Monster in there. Girl's Dead Monster. So she sings, does guitar. It's something else I want to get into before we get into our next character, because there's a reason for it. Iwasawa is the first character that we see leave the cast. So they start figuring out that, at least Otonashi does. He's the main person who figures this out and is oh, we can start doing this. Iwasawa fulfills her the thing that kept her lingering in the afterlife. She fulfills this void that she had, which is why she went to purgatory. And once her goal gets fulfilled, whether she realizes it or not, maybe they just have this epiphany of yes, this is perfect, this is what my life was meant to be. Finally, I got to do this thing. I was never able to do it before. I did it while I was here, and now I can move on. And they just kind of slowly just vanish, and then they're gone. So Iwasawa is the first to technically move on, and is replaced by this other girl who's a bit more bubbly, more of the typical lolly princessy kind of character. Yui, dude, she's great though.
She's hilarious.
She's one of the best characters of the show.
She's definitely the exact opposite of Iwasawa though. Iwasawa was tall, cool, beauty type. Yep. Yui is very much hyper,
the little sister type.
Yeah, she wears she wears a normal schoolgirl outfit, but she wears a headband with horns. She has the devil wings on her too, and she wears she has a little demon tail on her as a outfit,
a little succubus outfit.
Yeah, she's kind of that. Yeah, she gives off punk girl vibes, but also school. It's a weird mix with her, but she takes over for Iwasawa after she passes on, and at first the rest of the cast, they're can she really take over this position, because it's a very serious role.
She totally doesn't have the voice for it at first, just speaking, but,
but then she starts singing, and she was also Iwasawa's greatest fan, so that was a really cool thing. And I love how episode 4, when they're starting up, before even the intro plays, they're hey, please come on, you got to show us what you can do. And she goes into a guitar remix of the main intro.
Yep, but it's her singing it.
Yeah, and it's instead of a piano playing, it's a guitar, and they do the intro slightly different, but it's really cool that they use that as the they essentially use the intro song as her
audition
kind of thing, and it was a cool little thing I enjoyed.
Right. No, I'm really glad you brought that up, because I forgot all about that. I specifically meant to be need to make note of that. That was so cool. Yeah, no, 100%. I'm glad you mentioned that. As soon as you said episode 4, I was oh yeah, there was something super cool. Yeah, that was awesome. I don't think I've ever seen another show do that with the intro like that. It's super strange.
Other characters, they list this character as one of the main ones, but we really don't get an appearance from them until halfway through the show. Hideki, sorry, look at the wrong one. Ayato Naoi. Naoi. He is originally we thought he was a non-player character, serving as the vice president of the school, and underneath Angel. And then when we find out later on that no, he is a player who got into the world before any of them did, and he essentially is just. It's weird because he's a prime example of what a student should be, but he's not being obliterated. Turns out the reason why he's not being obliterated is because he beats up NPCs on the side, because he's a very aggressive person, at least in the beginning.
What a little shit.
He's terrible. That's one of the parts that made the show go real dark for an episode or two. This show fluctuates a lot through like light bit comedy to really sad, serious stuff to really dark, pretty brutal things.
It really does. Like this hits like so many, like you said, so many of the key factors that you want in like any show. This takes you everywhere. It takes you to Crying Town, but then it takes you to Funland. Right. It's so good.
So some fun characters, like we'll go real quickly here through Takamatsu, a really nerdy looking dude, wears glasses all the time, but he's incredibly buff underneath, and he keeps ripping his shirt off.
Yeah. Who? Fuck, I can't remember his name.
We got
Who's
TK.
Christ?
Oh God, yep, him. Oh man, I'll have to look that. I think his name is Takayama.
Is it
Takayama? Yep. Takayama's a computer hacker, but he wants everyone to address him by his codename Christ, and he keeps making that as a point. Like no one ever calls him Christ, but he's like, oh yes, I got this, but please call me Christ.
Yeah, that's like literally his only line is he says it like 4 or 5 times in one episode, and they'll just be like, hey, Takayama did this, and he'll just pop up and like push his glasses up on his nose and be like, please call me Christ.
Then we got TK, a character who in the Japanese dub of the show only speaks in English.
Digimon.
Not that TK. This guy is straight up like a druggie. Like I feel like this guy's like brain is all over the place. But
it's him in the future. They're linked together.
You know what? He's got blonde hair.
Yeah.
Oh man,
conspiracy
that could be.
theory.
Then
TK joins up to be a giant druggie after his Digimon experience. He couldn't handle it. He couldn't cope.
The afterlife is the digital world.
Yeah. After his brother died and they buried him in the digital world, they don't even have a real. He has his brother's tombstone on a little.
Man,
that's one of those. Gigapet. Yeah, it's just a tombstone.
That's a fan theory right there. We got Matsushita the Fifth, a giant like 5th level Dan. So he's a large master of judo.
Oh, is it Don? Yeah, it's Don.
Yeah, they call him Matsushita 5 Don, or Matsushita the Fifth in the English dub. Let's see here. Oh my God, there is a character that I love. Here we go. Iri Shina. She is a female ninja.
Oh, yeah.
Who is incredibly fast and talented. Apparently, she actually arrived from the feudal Japan timeline.
Yeah.
She might have been there for a lot longer than a lot of other people.
Maybe.
But they've also addressed that time in this world is very weird.
Yeah.
Because certain characters have arrived before others, but logically that makes no sense, and we can get into that later. And I can actually tell you, because I was actually surprised when I read it. But all these different characters are incredibly fun. Noda, he is a guy who carries around a halberd everywhere. So like this dude just straight up carrying a weapon into classrooms and any events that they're at, and he constantly get his shit wrecked, and he thinks he's like so tough. But they're all such great characters.
Yeah. So we have most of our main cast. There are some other characters, but again, their parts are typically pretty small. They show up for like an episode, help with a thing, and then you never see them again.
Yeah.
So now that we've got all these characters, we've got the Girls and Girls Dead Monster, which actually, again, one of the things that I had written down, if I could find it in my notes here. So they have different voice actors for their singing and then their English. So we have for Yui, who was Hilary Haig, who did the English voice acting, but Lisa, who did the singing. And Lisa is, isn't she? She's a pop idol in Japan.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Lucy Christian was the English voice actor for Iwasawa, but Marina did the singing.
Yep, so even in the English dub, when she starts singing in Japanese.
It's really cool. I love those. I love those concerts.
Have I said enough times that this song and this entire soundtrack slaps?
It's a banger. Boom. So Otonashi participates in several operations and missions with the Battlefront, despite still questioning the morality of their actions. During one of the girls' Dead Monsters diversion concerts, Iwasawa passes on. So they have like these concerts they throw to as a diversion, to get Angel out of the way, or whoever like the vice principal is, to do a thing, right? Iwasawa passes on from the afterlife after achieving satisfaction through her music. After that, they manage to demote Angel from her position. They kind of trick her into some stuff. And it's really childish antics.
I love that episode so much.
They just have the whack. It's like they have the master plan in this. Oh man, like everything just goes according to plan. And all they did was swap some papers around during a test, put her name on one, and like filled in all the wrong answers. And because someone's like, oh no, apparently all the tests that you've been doing that were perfect, apparently you're hella stupid now, so you're demoted. Sorry, bye. And she just goes like, okay. Like she doesn't care.
You start feeling kind of bad for her at that point. Like the more the series goes on, you're like, oh, Angel's kind of like, there was some rewatching the show. I'm like, oh God, like how I feel so bad for her.
Like quite literally for a little while, like knowing that she's just a regular person.
You do find out she's a regular person, not a servant of God.
So after, again, like the second watch, just like you said, after watching it again, immediately, you're like, wow, they're treating her like shit. And it kind of sucks. And then it comes down to that episode where they get her kicked out from her position in the school, and you're like, oof. And then I feel like even they start feeling bad because they start seeing her just kind of moping around and not doing anything, and they're like, oh,
she really doesn't have friends in this world. Everyone that was around her was only there because of her position. Like, she's alone.
So Otonashi's the one that really kind of takes a shine to her and kind of gets her into the group. What's her name? Fucking, I'm never gonna remember
Yuri?
These names. Oh no, Yuri. Yeah, for some reason I said Yui in my brain and went, that's not right.
That's the other girl.
Yuri still like is really cautious about her the whole time. Like she's gonna do something to fuck up all their plans. But they do like the childish antics of like, ooh, we switched her tests around.
That episode was just one of the funniest episodes I've ever watched of an anime, because basically they need a distraction. So Yuri will tell one of the 5 people she's brought with in this operation to be like, hey, you need to distract the teacher. And nothing seems to work. And one of those moments, Takamatsu, love that guy, where he literally is like, he's like, teacher, I have to tell you, I look nerdy and pale, but in reality, I'm really buff. And he just rips his shirt off, and he's just incredibly masculine. He's like, so what do you think?
What do you think?
And he's like, sit down. Like, okay. And then all of a sudden, his seat just jetpacks into the air because there's a rocket underneath it. And one of the songs in the show plays as it's happening, but it's a very slow song. It's very slow and like, sad song, but you just see him slowly rise into the air and smash into the ceiling. And they do this repeatedly through the episode because they keep needing distractions, and no one can distract the teachers except through the sheer act of violence. It's great.
Oh man.
And the series at first, the first 2 episodes make it seem like it's a comedy, which it has a lot of, aspects of a comedy, but episode 3 is where it really shows that no, this is also a very dark and serious and sad show when Iwasawa's backstory is shown off. And her backstory is essentially she loved music. She grew up in a very broken home, and her father was an alcoholic who fought her mother all the time, and she found an escape through music. And she was an incredibly smart person who could go to college anywhere she wanted to, but she wanted to pursue music. She saved her money, bought her the guitar she wanted, and practiced, and she finally was at a point where she was, feeling like she had a real chance. And then during an altercation with her her parents were fighting again, her dad hit her over the head with a bottle, essentially putting her into a bit of a coma for a while. And then when she woke up, she couldn't sing. She couldn't.
She was like paralyzed.
Yeah, she was
basically.
paralyzed. Like she couldn't do anything. And she basically just fell into this incredible depression, and she eventually passed away. And so when she finally was able to play a song that she wrote, a ballad, which is a beautiful song too, she was like you said, she was able to come to acceptance of everything, and that she finally got to do what she wanted, which was to play her song in front of a crowd of people, and they were just so enthralled with her song. And when she was happy and when she was content, she passed on, and no one knew what happened to her. But like you said, Otonashi kind of figured she didn't need to be here anymore. She had no more regrets, and that's the biggest thing of the show, is finding out why each person was stuck here, letting them fulfill their dreams so they could pass on.
So one of the interesting things with this is that, so in a lot of the research I was finding, it would refer to the Battlefront, the Afterlife Battlefront, or the Not Dead Yet Battlefront.
Barnacle Battlefront.
Yeah, Barnacle Battlefront. Everything that I was researching would always refer to it as the SSS. And I was like, what the fuck is the SSS? The Shinda Sekai Sensen is like the official untranslated name for it. Pretty interesting. So a lot of the stuff I have is like, about the SSS. So again, yeah, like she passes on. Otonashi kind of partially regains some of his memories after he goes through like some hypnosis, like Ayato does. And that's like after he gets some of his memories, that's when he starts to befriend like Angel really like heavily, and he kind of like remembers the rest of his past, and he just wants everybody to live the best and happiest life that they can. And there's a really big like shocking reveal for why that is, but that'll be up to you to watch the it's like at the end of the series. It's so good. It's a twist that I never would have guessed, and I'm like, oh wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I have it written down here, but I was like, I don't know if I want to like
I don't
give
know if
that
we
away.
say that. It's not like, I mean, obviously the show ends. It ended. So like everybody finds peace, blah 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 blah. At the end, right? But yeah, no, just this thing that like that happens between. I'll just say it's between Otonashi and Angel, or
her real name,
Kanade.
Yep.
Tachibana is one of the things that these people in this group, the Not Dead Yet Battlefront, are fighting Angel, and they realize not once, they never asked what her name was. Like some of them just straight up didn't know. They just always called her Angel. Or one of the girls when like Otonashi's like, hey, I got her name, it's Kanade, and Yuri's like, oh yeah, that's right, now I remember. He's like, you knew? She's like, I just forgot.
I mean, yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, what the hell, man. Otonashi offers aid to Kanade in helping with the other SSS members to pass on. They kind of team up together to find out, what is the thing that they're here for? How do we help them come to terms with it? So around this time, there's these shadow things that start just popping up kind of out of nowhere, and they attack the people in this afterlife by turning them into NPCs.
Yep. Turns out there was a programmer, someone who came to the world a long time ago, and basically realized the reason for this world.
Yep.
It was for people to come here when they had regrets about their life, and that once they found out what those were, they could take care of it, pass on peacefully. It was never meant to be a permanent place. So the programmer decided to put a fail-safe in place. After a certain amount of time, if a person or a group of people were there and they wouldn't pass on, they refused to pass on, his safety measure would come into place, and essentially force them to become NPCs, which then leads into the question: is every single person in this school, every single NPC, were they were they original people that came there with regrets and unfortunately got turned into NPCs and are now stuck there forever?
I mean, honestly, it might not be a terrible thing if when you turn into an NPC you don't notice it. Like if you just go about whatever you believe to be your day, you might not even notice. You would just be there, but you'd never get tired of it.
Because that's what happens. They see one of the shadow beings take someone in the Battlefront, and then next day they see them as an NPC, and they're like, I don't know you. Like, this person just had no memory of their time there. Which, by the way, when the shadow beasts arrive, it is a total tone shift yet again in the show. It goes from comedy to like sad slice of life comedy to holy shit. I don't remember there being much comedy in the last couple episodes because they're all too busy trying to figure out what's going on. How can we survive this? Because this whole group, for the most part, is like, no, fuck you, fuck God, fuck anybody trying to make us pass on. Like, we will not pass on. Like, we want our lives back. We want to live because they don't know what happens. That's another big thing is like they're scared to pass on because they don't know what's going to happen. Are they gone forever? Will they be reincarnated into a water flea?
Yeah, right. You don't know. I want to be a watermelon.
Yeah, like they talk about like, we don't know if you'll turn into a water flea, but reincarnation's weird. We don't know what you'll turn into.
Yeah. So, and it's great that, because this was one of the things I was hoping was that, what about reincarnation? Is that a thing? So there is, again, like, considering it's only 13 episodes, I have so many things that I feel like I'm like, one of my favorite episodes, every time I say it, I'm like, there's only 13.
They're all my favorite.
Yeah, one of my favorite episodes. So Otonashi is, like, trying to help Yui, right? He wants to help her move on, but Yui doesn't know, like, he's like, she's so young. We don't know what it is that she's here for, and I guess she doesn't technically know either. She just wants to do like a bunch of stuff. She wants to be like a pro athlete. She wants to be in a band, and she wants like 2 or 3 other things. And like Otonashi just spends all episode getting her into these positions, helping her train to be the best or whatever, to do that thing, or to the point where she feels that she accomplished her goal, and then she's like, okay, on to the next thing. So they montage just a whole bunch of shit, and at the end of it, like when you find out that she passed at a really young age, and she's like, one of the things that I never got to do because I was so young, she's like, I never got to get married. She's like, it's one of the things I always wanted to do. She's like, I wanted to get married to somebody. And Otonashi at first is like, I'll do it. But then Hideki's like, no, I'll do it. I'll marry you, Yui, anywhere, anytime, no matter what you look like or what you do.
And these two have like a fighting, like they love-hate relationship as the show goes on.
Yeah, Yui's the one that was paralyzed.
Yep, Yui essentially was in a car accident, and she was essentially paralyzed from the waist down.
Did I say it was someone else?
No, that was right. That was Yui. You said Yui.
Okay, what was then? Remind me, what was Yuri's?
Yuri's was. She was the oldest sister of 4 siblings, and they lived in a really nice neighborhood. Her parents worked out of the house, and one day while they were gone, a bunch of robbers broke in and basically started breaking up the house, and they were demanding that the kids find them like the jewelry, like the money, stuff like that. And so basically they were like, well, we can't find anything, but these kids might know. So basically they go up to Yuri and they're like, hey, you must know where the really nice fancy stuff is. Yep. Go find it, because for every 10 minutes that you don't come back here with something valuable, I kill one of your siblings.
Yep.
And she starts running around the house. And at this point, she's very young. She might be like 8, 9 years old. She's not very old, but her siblings are much younger.
Yeah.
And
yep.
She can't find anything. She doesn't know where her parents keep the fancy stuff, so she tries to bring down a vase because she thinks the vase is super fancy, and she trips and the vase shatters. And essentially 30 minutes, what she says is 30 minutes pass by. The cops arrived 40 minutes later. And so basically the cops arrived minutes too late, and all 3 of her siblings were killed.
Damn.
and in front of her too. It was brutal. So basically, she just lives with the regret of not being able to save her siblings.
Yep.
And that, it's not good. Like,
I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Yeah.
Yeah. All these characters lived really bad lives and died, unfortunately, also terribly. And they have every reason to be mad.
Yep.
But the show's whole point is just to find peace and acceptance. Even though the lives are bad, they were still their lives, Mm-hmm. Oh, man, this show just gets me all sorts of feels.
Yeah, it's so good. And I love that, because, again, you mentioned this reincarnation thing earlier, now that I know that we're right, it was Yui, who was paralyzed. She couldn't do anything. And she's like, I always wanted to get married, but someone always had to take care of me her entire life. Her mom, devoted her entire life to taking care of her, and she felt bad. But when she passed away, Yui was able to be in a band and do all these things. And, that last thing, she wants to get married. And Hideki is like, I'll do it. But after, at first it almost seems like you think, oh, maybe it's a joke. Maybe he's just, doing it, to be the bro, to be the good dude. But then, he just kind of keeps going, and he just keeps mentioning, he's like, I'll love you no matter what, and no matter where, no matter what time, I'll find you. I don't care what you look like. And I'm like, oh shit, he was really serious.
Yeah, he actually liked her.
Yeah, he really did.
And she passes on, and it's pretty sad because that he did like her, and now he has to live in a world without her.
Yep. But again, reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice little extra clip that you get at the end. At the end of that, it's really sweet. I really like it. It's really short and sweet.
Now, like you said, it's kind of goes without saying. Basically, everyone does pass on, and by the end of the show, there are two OVAs and one special episode that was exclusive to the DVD release of Angel Beats. Now, this is only about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes long, but what happens in it essentially makes it seem like it takes place after the events of the show. For example, essentially, Otonashi has now become the next angel. He is now the president of the student body. Another human has entered the afterlife and makes a fuss during class, realizing that he's not in the real world, that he realizes that now he's in a fake world. He makes a fuss during a test about the values of his life and why he should not bother doing the test. Otonashi enters the room after this uproar and questions what the boy wants. The boy replies to stand up against Otonashi. Otonashi then smiles lightly and leaves the room, basically telling him, then live your life, man. Do it. Do whatever makes you happy. And he essentially walks to the student council room, and he sits there alone because he's the only person there, really. Mm-hmm. And you hear other girls talking about, oh, he's so awesome, he's so cute. Like, oh, I heard he's dating somebody, he's waiting for someone. Mm-hmm. And you actually see a picture of the Battlefront on the wall. Nice. So people think this did take place after the series ended, but before Otonashi was able to pass on.
Yeah.
Or it could take place in a separate timeline, or a different timeline where he didn't pass on, and he essentially became the person dedicated their lives to making sure other people passed on.
Yep. And that's the kind of guy Otonashi was. So that's what I envisioned, was that he stayed behind to help the other people that accidentally stumble into this place, to help them on their way, is how what I thought of it.
Yeah, it's because when you find out Otonashi's backstory, it's also, this is a trend, obviously. It's also super sad.
It's tragic.
And he was starting to turn his life around, and he was in a good place, and then an accident, I won't go into too many details, but an accident happened, and unfortunately his life ended.
Was it a car accident?
It was the train accident.
The train. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Right before he died, literally right before help was going to arrive.
That's so crazy.
And
the mist.
And oh god, we talked about that recently too. But yeah, Otonashi is definitely he's probably the most selfless person in the show. He just wants everyone to move on, even though they don't want to. He wants them to live their best lives, and being stuck in the afterlife is not going to do anything, or in this purgatory is not going to do anything for them.
Right. Now, at the same time, though, like, that's kind of his, like, fulfillment right there, I feel like, is, to ensure that other people live their best lives. How come he doesn't just, as soon as he's like, I'm gonna help you out, and he's like, oh, whoops, I gotta go. I guess I'm going, bye.
So that's the thing, is, like, because the ending of the show, like I said, there's two different, like, scenes. Mm-hmm. One where he's back in the human world, and one where he's still in the purgatory. There's something special about him. We don't know. Whether it's like the one of the directors, Jun Maeda, sorry if I mispronounced that, said during an interview that Otonashi would have no reason to stay in the afterlife after Kanade passed on. This suggests that this is an alternate ending. Instead of saying to be continued after the credit, it says next stage. He basically wanted to be open to speculation. And he also kind of wanted to leave it open to a possible second season if they did.
Oh, that would have been okay.
And I'm actually mad after doing more research, because I found out originally this show was about 24 to 26 episodes.
Yeah.
But apparently the director / writer of it was like, well, they're probably not going to like it, so we're just going to put down to 13 episodes instead.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here like, you fool! This anime is beloved by so many people, but maybe it's also beloved because it is only 13 episodes and it's short and sweet. And
that's also true. Like, if they started adding like a bigger mythos to this series, I don't know, like, it would become, in my opinion, like Sword Art, or like the first season is like really new and fresh and exciting, and then the next, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's probably better. Certain animes don't overstay their welcome.
Yeah. Like, I'm not hating on Sword Art. I like the first like 3 seasons, but
I am.
Some of it I had to be like, all right, like I'll give it a shot. And
I literally like the first half of the first season. That is it. When they are actually in Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Everything else is bad. Hot take. Phil for the Men of Zen.
A twist that I did not see coming. I'm like, oh, it's a love story. What?
It's just, how many times is he gonna go into a game that's about life or death? Stop!
I gotta go back. Oh my god.
Wait, Neo, you ain't going into the Matrix.
Oh shit. So let's get into a little bit about these creators.
Oh yes, please.
Angel Beats, like you said, Jun Maeda and Naga of Key. Now let's talk about Key real quick. Key is actually just a Japanese visual novel studio known for making dramatic and plot-oriented titles, because there are like some visual and light novels that like accompany Angel Beats in either prequels or sequels, different students, etc. Key was formed in July 21st, 1998 as a brand under the publisher Visual Arts, and is located in Kita, Osaka. So Jun Maeda and Naga, both from Key. Jun Maeda was born January 3rd, 1975, as a Japanese writer and co-founder of the visual novel brand Key under Visual Arts. He's considered a pioneer of Nakige visual novels. Nakige is a popular subgenre of novels. It's usually, I guess they have they're a depressing game, like a crying game, but they have a happy ending. So which I guess makes total sense.
Yeah.
But that's what Nakige is. Yeah, with where did that just go? I lost it.
Oh no!
Oh, there we go. They are considered a pioneer of the Nakage visual novels. They mainly contributed as a scenario writer, a lyricist, and music composer for those games the company produces. His style was originally inspired by James Herbert Brennan and is influenced by Haruki Murakami's novel Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World. Originally from Mie, Japan, Maeda graduated from Mie High School and later went to graduate from Chukyo University with a major in psychology. Before forming Key, Maeda worked for the company Tactics, where he had a hand in creation of 2 games for that company, Moon and One Kagayuku Kietsu. After forming Key, Maeda put much work into titles such as Kanon, Air, Clannad, Little Busters, Angel Beats, Charlotte, Summer Pockets, and The Day I Became a God.
Oh man, a bunch of sad anime.
Yeah, dude. Actually, the Day I Became a God. I know I've seen that. I haven't watched it. I've seen the show pop up. I'm intrigued by that. He also was the author of a manga series called Hibiki's Magic. He's pretty well-rounded guy. He's done quite a bit. Naga, also, he is a Japanese artist who is employed as a graphic designer and illustrated for the company Key. Obviously famous for visual novels, blah, blah, blah. We've been there. Naga has been working for Key since the production of Air as one of the computer graphic artists. He was able to majorly contribute to character design in Key's sixth visual novel, Little Busters, with Itaru Hinoue, along with later released Little Busters Ecstasy and Kud Wafter. I don't know what that is. That's a thing he worked on. I wonder if it's like one of those like German like steampunk sort of. It's kind of, I don't know, it seems like one of those kind of settings. For Key's ninth title, Rewrite, Naga contributed to the game's computer graphics. Naga worked in collaboration with Jun Maeda and ASC2 Media Works. That was Dengeki G's magazine to produce the mixed media project Angel Beats, and Charlotte as the original character designer. Naga once worked for the company Pearlsoft R between 1997 and 1999, where he contributed to if I can get to the visual novels Sweet Days and Hakanai Omoi. Again, just another, I don't know, just seems like a really well-rounded guy. He's done quite a bit of work in, just anime and manga. Nothing necessarily crazy huge like we've seen some of the past guys before, but man, I feel like out of all of those, Angel Beats takes the cake for everything that they've worked on between the two of them. I think Key, honestly, Angel Beats was their was the best shit that they had ever released. Now, around the time Key completed the first release of the sixth visual novel, Little Buster, Yosuke Toba of Aniplex, himself a fan of Key's works, approached Maeda around October 2007 about collaborating to produce an original anime series. Maeda began meeting with Toba and Aniplex on a monthly basis, and the story started to gradually progress, where Aniplex wanted Maeda to write a screenplay that would be very Key-like, with touching moments of laughter, but then tears. Initially, Maeda found himself at a loss to write a story more amusing than Little Busters, which I guess now I'm going to have to go back and read that, because apparently that was huge. Because he thought that he had reached a limit with Little Busters in regards to a Key-like story. However, one day Maeda was struck with inspiration, where he thought up the initial idea of a story set in the afterlife. Furthermore, with everyone already dead, Maeda conceived of flashy battles where combatants can go all out with no fear of death. According to Maeda, the theme of the series in life, which in Angel Beats is depicted as a precious and wonderful thing, despite the characters in Angel Beats who fight against their fate. Maeda nominated Naga to begin work on the character designs near the beginning of 2008. Naga was worried that the computer graphics work for Key would get delayed, but he took the position because of his accumulated experience in CG. Maeda nominated Naga because of the popular characters he designed in Little Busters and because of his frankness. Naga designed Yuri based on her personality as a leader, though it was per Maeda's request that he added the black headband taken from the character Yukiko Amagi from Persona 4.
Ooh,
cool, right?
What?
Yeah, character designs based on Persona.
Oh my god, I fucking love Persona. Don't even get me started on that.
Oh yeah, I know. Every time I bring it up, that's his reaction. Ooh, what'd you say? Did you say Persona?
You say Persona?
Did you say Persona?
I fuck with Persona.
So the length of Yuri's hair and the addition of the green ribbon were decided from production committee meetings. Angel's original concept began with the idea of a brave fighting girl. Maeda cited that Angel's image had changed considerably over the development process, and that originally she was similar to Shiki Ryogi from Kara no Kyokai. Eventually, Angel's concept changed to being silent and mysterious girl. Before Naga decided on Otonashi's design, Maeda told him that anything would be fine and to just draw something. Anything. Don't give a shit. I don't care. Just fucking put a jacket on him, whatever. He's got hair. Does he have hair? What about skin? He got skin? Cool. That's fine. I like it when they have skin. He just told me, he was like, just draw anything. Eventually he drew up a prototype for Otonashi and Hinata, among others. Some of the characters had vague initial conditions given by Maeda, such as asking Naga to draw an all-female band bass guitarist. In the case of Girls Dead Monster member Sekine, and particularly the cryptic character who speaks in puzzling English phrases, TK. Love
TK.
Dude, right? TK! Digimon. That's all every time TK comes, anytime, that's all I thought of. The Aniplex producer of Angel Beats, Yosuke Toba, was interviewed in the 2009 issue of Dengeki G's magazine, where he commented that a 13-episode anime about 21 minutes per episode was not enough to tell the whole story of Angel Beats Maeda had envisioned. Therefore, the various additional media, such as the illustrated short stories, the manga, some of that contained some story that was unable to make it into the anime because of all the time constraints. Toba wanted fans of the series to be able to enjoy it to its fullest by exploring all of the media types. Maeda found it tiring to go back and forth between Osaka and Tokyo for business meetings when he was in the process of writing the script. Found it difficult to write an entire script by himself, since he had never done that before with any of the games he produced as a member of Key. It was only after the script was done that Maeda was able to work on the music, which he greatly enjoyed and never tired of it. Maeda composed about 15 songs for Girls Dead Monster and spent about 2 days each composing each song. So, realistically, again, like, that music was really, I don't want to say basic, but, like, considering that this guy just wrote songs on days, like, I as a music writer, I guess I don't know what all he wrote, but to come up with a song a day and have it be pretty solid just over the course of 2 days straight every day, that's hard.
Yeah, that's talent.
That's rough. I mean, I guess, I don't know, some people have like the ability to just start a beat and make a rhythm and add a thing and add this, and they can just make a song like on the spot. I probably could, but I don't have the technical know-how how to do that shit, so that's still really impressive. He made sure to create songs for Girls Dead Monster that high school girls would compose. And so he had to, really think about what was his subject matter, what was he talking about, is it relatable? Which, and obviously included the lyrics. Due to this, Maeda pointed out that the opening and ending theme songs for Angel Beats, which Maeda also composed, sounded like they were composed by a different person compared to the Girls Dead Monster songs. That's really interesting that Maeda did all of that.
Damn.
They did all of the music, and there's a lot. The main theme, though, is, I think that's one of those ones where it comes up on, like, is it one where it, like, plays repeatedly throughout the show? It, like, does this have, like, little, like, ring-a-ding, like, do they have, like, a cell phone or a chime that's like, they don't have that in this, do they?
No, you're thinking of, they had that in Death Note.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what it was, because we did our Death Note episode. Maybe that's what it was. But I was thinking they had the Angel Beats theme in there, but I guess it was just the beginning of that episode 4. I guess, yeah, that's really most of the history that I have of, like, the show as it was produced. I do have a little bit of historical stuff that was just kind of, just, I don't know, just some random historical shit, I guess. We got, like, 15, 20 minutes left here on this, I think. We're doing pretty good for time.
Yeah, sweet. One thing I will throw out there is that this show, the original airing was back on April 3rd, started April 3rd, 2010, and ended June 26th of 2010. So it only ran for about 3 months, but makes sense, an episode a week, is not going to last too long, but it hasn't, it's one of those animes that everyone knows about, but they haven't really brought back in any way. They haven't done like a redone or a sequel, which is kind of rare. Like a lot of animes, they'll try to do a sequel to it. Years down the line, but nope, they've left this alone. And to be honest, I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful series that just exists on its own. Doesn't need to please anybody else. Now, when you said that first episode was April 3rd, 2010, so they did a So the very first episode was previewed on March 22nd, 2010.
Oh.
And it was actually, so this was interesting. They had selected a number of people who participated in a lottery held earlier that month. So they actually did like a name drawing, and they're like, you guys get to watch the first episode early.
Oh, that's so cool.
Cool, right? That's really neat.
Man, I wish they did stuff like that nowadays.
The anime's music, composed by Maeda and the group Avant-Garde Eyes, who also provided the musical arrangement. The music is released on Key's record label, Key Sounds label. The opening theme is My Soul, Your Beats, sung by is that Lisa?
Yep.
Yeah, and the ending theme is Brave Songs, sung by Aoi Tada. The single containing both songs titled, those previous ones, were released on May 26, 2010. The in-story band Girls Dead Monsters made up of the real-life singers Marina and Lisa. 5 singles for Girls Dead Monster were released in 2010. Crow Song, 1,000 Enemies, Little Braver, and the 4th was Last Song, and then they did Ichiban no Takamorono, which was the final version by Lisa. There was also a series of 7 illustrated short stories written by Jun Maeda and drawn by Goto P, titled Angel Beats. Track 0. They were serialized between November 2009 and May 2010 issues of ASC2 MediaWorks Dengeki G's magazine. Track 0 is a prequel to Angel Beats featuring Hinata as the main character and tells the story of how the SSS was formed. A special extra chapter focusing on the Girls Dead Monster was published in the 6th volume of Dengeki G's Festival Deluxe. The short stories were collected into a bound volume released on June 23rd, 2010. The chapter titles for the stories are taken from song titles from various musical artists. The first chapter was posted online with illustrations by ASC2 MediaWorks. They also published Angel Beats official guidebook on December 22nd, 2010. The guidebook contains story summaries of the anime episodes, including the OVA. Damn. It has, like, I guess that book is like the end all. And that's it. That's like everything I got on that. That's Angel Beats. I mean, I know I just talked for like 10 minutes, but
we've both been talking for over an hour at this point.
My mouth hurts, and I did a better job than normal.
There you go, buddy.
I did it.
Here, let me take over for you. I'll use my mouth bits for a little
bit. I
bit.
did it, y'all.
So I decided to go online to say, screw it, go to Google and just type in Angel Beats review. And as it's sitting right now, there's 839 Google reviews. So not a whole lot, but I mean, like, who's going to go to Google and, post a review? So
I don't know. Apparently somebody.
Fairly enough. But it's sitting at a 4.9 out of 5.
Damn.
So
Hell yeah.
It is, very much so a highly rated one. Now, some of these reviews and comments are great. This guy, for example, he writes, to be honest, I clicked on this show as on accident while scrolling through Netflix while I was playing a game, but I gave it a chance and I wasn't disappointed. At the start, I was expecting the show to be this action anime about kids fighting in the afterlife for 13 episodes. But then the lore episodes hit and it drew me in without fail. I watched every episode in one night and it honestly changed me. Another guy here says, I felt like it was one of the harder animes to get into, but after episodes 3 and 4, it became one of my favorite animes of all time, immediately hopping into my top 3. Let's see, what can I say about this series anymore? As many people know, it's already an epic series. One person says here, I skipped school just to watch it.
Stay in school, kids. Come on, be cool.
Let's see here. Since I was bored out of my mind, I decided to give it a try. I won't say what anime that was, but that anime made me feel like falling in love. There's just so many, like, oh, this one here. This one's I like. It's I know I probably should not be writing a review after only watching one episode, but what I can tell you is that I am hooked. This anime is pretty good to just have me absolutely attached to a show with just one episode. I should be going to bed at this point, because it is 4 a.m. where I'm at right now, but I just want to keep watching this show.
That is wonderful. I love all those reviews. Those are all great.
It really is that good of a show. Like, I cannot praise it enough. Like, if you all watched our Psycho-Pass episode, it is definitely Psycho-Pass is also one of my favorite animes of all time. But between the two, I will still put Angel Beats ahead of it, because It is quick. It is
it's
funny.
easy to digest.
Yeah, it's funny. It's heartwarming. It makes you feel things. It makes you want to cry, but also just makes you incredibly happy. It's a good show. Like that's the best way I can say it. It's damn good.
You know, I was just doing some thinking, and something that maybe it just never clicked with me personally, or maybe you haven't noticed it either. I'll pose it to you.
Okay.
You know how we say the name of the show, Angel Beats.
Yeah.
You think about where we put the emphasis. What if we change the emphasis around to Angel Beats? Does that feel different to you?
Angel Beats.
If you say Angel Beats.
Angel Beats.
Angel Beats.
Angel Beats.
And you think about how it ended and the relationship between
Oh,
Kanade and like
I know what you're getting at.
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
But I don't want to spoil that. Like,
right.
I feel like that's something that needs to.
No, I don't want to
seen.
say anything. Yeah,
Watch
but no,
this show. I swear to God.
Just like I never really thought about that. Like I guess the first time I watched it, I was just always like Angel Beats. Like it's a cool name. And,
like it's people thought like, oh, it's because the music's the music's so good. Like that's what they mean by beats. It's like no, it actually means something else. When I found that out too during the research, I'm like,
yeah, it's cool, right?
Dang, I totally forgot about that. So when I was watching the show again and I finally caught it, I'm like, why didn't I notice this or catch this the first time or a couple times around? Because I've watched this a good amount of times.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about here, the programmer.
Ooh, do it.
He's kind of the
lead
antagonist of the series in a weird way. So let me give you a little bit of information here. An unknown student that Yuri learns about and meets during the Shadow incident. It is a artificial intelligence that she encountered, tells her of a human who long ago turned himself into an NPC to await the minuscule chance that the girl he fell in love with would reappear in the afterlife. Essentially, the programmer came to the afterlife unknowing because apparently, like Otonashi, he was never supposed to go to the afterlife. The afterlife is only meant for people that that died horrible deaths and lived unfulfilled lives, but he was not supposed to, so it was a mistake. He meets a girl and he falls in love, but when the girl passes on after she's fulfilled her life's goal, he didn't want to pass on. He felt like passing on was too big of a risk that he would never see her again. So in his eyes, in his mind, he thought, I feel like I still have a better chance of meeting her again if I stay here
and just
in the afterlife and wait. Now, someone actually did the math here, and I think they did a little bit of the math in the show as well. Because there's a girl would have to basically check two boxes in order to get back here. She would have to die in her teenage years between 13 and 17, so only a 4-year gap. And she'd also have to die with a very heavy regret.
Yep.
So the odds of that happening, the math here is...
Maybe her regret would be that she never met her soulmate, and she just, like, knows it.
But she has to die in that 4-year time gap.
Yeah.
So if the girl lives an average life of 85 years and reincarnated each and every time, which is kind of what they go off here, is that people reincarnate, there would be 4 out of those 85 teenage years. That is basically 9.83 out of 1,000 chances. So that death rate. Let's see here. Basically, she had a 0.0004% chance.
Wow.
Of dying.
He's playing those odds.
Yeah, on dying, and then you have to account for the 4-year gap, which makes it even harder to get in. So basically, for that to increase to 10% chance of seeing her again, he would have had to wait in the afterlife for 2.125 million years.
Holy shit.
And apparently he lost his sense of sanity because he waited so long in this world without meeting her.
That would really suck too.
Yeah,
to be like to not only just be in this place waiting, but you're waiting for so long, and the thing that slowly creeps up on is like, what if she lived her life and had no regrets?
Exactly.
Like, and like on his end, not just the fact that she has to have them, but now he has to continue living on knowing that she was fulfilled without him.
Right.
And that shit would suck too.
So basically, he lost his sanity. He couldn't stand waiting there any longer, so he turned himself into an NPC so he could wait there longer. And he also created an AI to activate the program should a similar situation arise in the afterlife.
Yep.
Essentially, he is the one that created the Shadow Protocol. Essentially, where here goes. It says here, as the programmer felt that people who had resolved their sadness should not clutter the afterlife. Much like patients should be discharged when they are cured rather than staying in the hospital, he created a program that kept track of the amount of love in the afterlife. When the amount of love exceeded a certain amount, a cleaning program would be activated where NPCs would be changed into shadows that would then target humans and forcibly change them into NPCs as well, thus resetting the world where no humans exist.
Wow.
He still exists as an NPC in the afterlife.
Yep.
But who he is or what he looks like is not known.
Yep.
It is not known whether the AI that Yuri talks to is based on the programmer's real looks at all either. It says here, the AI that Yuri talks to states that she wouldn't know the programmer even if he did say his name. He also denied that creating the Angel Player program. When Yuri asks him if he knew about it, and the Angel Player program is essentially what Angel or Kanade uses her to create her abilities.
Yep.
His words were, "Beats me. It's not like he invented it."
Yep.
So it brings in even more like questions about the world, like who created that program? How long has this afterlife been a thing? Time also moves differently in the afterlife because.
Is it the work of a god?
It could be. We don't know.
But if it's a god, it's programmable.
Because here's the thing. The time that when Otonashi comes into the afterlife, he dies earlier than some of the other characters in this show do, but yet he arrives years later.
That's what I was thinking when you were talking about that person who did all the math for it. I was like, well, I think technically with this, I feel like this place actually sees time all at the same time. It just all at once. It exists literally in every moment all the time throughout history, and it's just constantly existing. But then the moment someone dies with regrets, maybe that's why the person from like the Sengoku feudal Japan shit was there.
Shina.
But then Otonashi, like I think it just pulls people in, not necessarily from a particular from a straight like a linear path in time. I think it just exists in time.
So yeah, because without going into spoilers. Kanade, she dies in timeline wise after Otonashi.
Yep.
But yet she's been in this world for many years.
She's been there longer.
A long time. And we already know Otonashi is not supposed to ever go to the afterlife.
Yep.
So it's weird that he even shows up at all. There's even a theory that Otonashi is the programmer. Because both the programmer and him wear a very similar looking outfit. At least the AI that Yuri talks to wears a very similar looking outfit to Otonashi's when he first arrives. And their stories are very, at least towards the end, where Kanade is able to pass on and Otonashi doesn't. Someone mentioned that it's very similar to the programmer who fell in love and then she passed on, but he couldn't. But there is that after credit scene that kind of disproves that theory, but it's a neat little theory, at least, that would lead to it. Like you said, if time exists in this world all at the same time, maybe Otonashi is the programmer and
right.
Set up everything in this world and now he's back again.
Did he wipe his memories on purpose, or maybe there's still some memories he hasn't unlocked?
But then they also say that the AI says that the programmer is still there as an NPC somewhere.
Yeah.
But maybe, who knows? Maybe when you become an NPC, your soul still gets reincarnated
him in the future. Somehow.
Yeah, it's a weird time thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just a whole lot of theories with this because it is only 13 episodes. It does give people the opportunity to theorize and speculate and make their own thoughts and assumptions on stuff, which is also really cool. I love just any media like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this. I don't know, I feel like I've talked a lot about how much I love this show. It just it brings me back to a time where like you and I were roommates. I think at the time where you showed me the show, and I remember like it was a very depressing time around then, and this show like made me feel so happy.
Depressed sometimes.
Oh man, we're depressed right now. It's all good. We just manage it better. But this show, like, it's just one of those feel good. Like, it's sad as shit, but it makes you feel good at the same time.
No, it's like the tragic backstories are obviously are all sad, but it's the redemption moments that are super uplifting, and you're like, cool, they did it. They did the thing.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. I love it.
Oh man.
Well, shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything else to say really about the show. I think we did it all. Do you have anything else before we do closing?
If you keep giving me more time, I'm just going to talk about how much this show's awesome, how good this show is. The music slaps, the characters slap, the story slaps, the feels slap.
Otonashi gets slapped.
He gets slapped. Oh my god, the episode where they go into the guild and they have to fight through these angel killing traps or traps that they created to slow her down is also great because they lose people one after another, getting smashed, sliced in half, drowned, blew up. It's just great. It's episode 2 also, so before the sad shit happens. So it's all just comedy at that point.
Maybe the programmer who created Angel was like Sid from Toy Story. He just loves blowing up shit.
He created the Angel Fighter program that Angel used, which is odd because no one else seems to know this ability but her.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They don't explain how she gets the power or how she discovers this technology.
There's another thing that they talk about that they don't really give away, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, and have another thing to add. They make all of their weapons, like the Battlefront or whatever, everything they make it out of dirt somehow.
Yep. It's because the people that are down there in the guild know how guns work, and apparently they can create anything they want out of dirt as long as they understand how it works, how it's built and designed.
So they're not all like running around down there with PlayStation 5s because they don't know how a PlayStation 5 works.
We don't know
they
how
don't
that
know
works.
all the parts or components. But these people that can make guns, they were just people who were gun nuts, probably, and in their life before they died. And they're like, yeah, I know how to make a gun.
Oh, it also something that we didn't mention is that for some reason the only people that are in this world are teenagers.
I think there is like a adult or two.
Nope. The guy in the guild, he is a teenager. They did confirm that, but yeah, for some reason he just looks way scruffier.
Oh, weird.
But yeah, everyone else in this show and all the characters they've been out are kids. And it's just something that maybe kids or teenagers are the ones with the most regret when they die.
Possibly, yeah, because they didn't leave like the most fulfilling life, that sort of thing.
Maybe adults just don't have regrets when they die, or not as strong of regrets.
I think adults just gotta try to like come to terms with their regrets before they die because they're adults. But kids are angsty and they got shit to do. They got stuff going on. They got big plans.
Right.
And then bam, smack, train, dead, boom.
I think the last thing I'll talk about here is there is a Angel Beats prequel novel. It's a light novel written by Jun Maeda and drawn by Goto P. It's called Angel Beats Track 0. Yep. It was serialized between 2009 and November 2009 and May 2010. Issues of ASCLL Media Works and Dengeki G's Magazine.
Oh, is that it? Is it ASCLL?
I think it is. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe it's ASC2.
See, that's what I've been saying. I was saying ASC2 Media.
Oh, maybe LL.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Let's see here. It's a special extra chapter focusing on Girl's Dead Monster. Was published in the 6th volume of Dengeki G's Festival Deluxe on March 29th, 2010.
Yep.
The short stories were later collected into a bound volume released on June 23rd, 2010.
Yep.
They included an additional chapter along with the other 8 chapters. The story of Track 0 focuses on the afterlife before the events of the anime series, before the founding of the Afterlife War Battlefront, or Barnacle Battlefront. Before Otonashi's arrival in the afterlife. The main character of this is Hideki Hinata, the blue-haired bro, the bestest of dudes, the wingman of the century. He might be gay, but you know what? We don't judge. Good guy. Let's see here. He finds himself in the afterlife, which comes in the form of a vast school complex. He meets a girl named Yuri, who takes him into her personal mission to provoke God and take him on personally. During their march to this mission, the two meet new allies and foes alike, and they discover the stories behind each and every one of them. Basically, it's a story about how the Barnacle... You know what? It's Barnacle Battlefront now. I'm not even gonna kid around with it. It's Barnacle Battlefront. How the Battlefront began. So like that's Barnacle Battlefront. I'm so happy this exists. But yeah, it's a cool little story. Not very long. Just the origins of the Battlefront, and apparently those two had a little bit of a fling or a relationship early on, but decided that things just wasn't worth moving forward with that. But yeah, that's about all I have here. I just realized all my cool trivia and fun facts all are spoilers, and I can't do that to you guys because you need to watch the show.
Yeah, that's
and
all
be
right.
sad for yourself.
We'll let y'all decide what you think. You should just watch it. Stop what you're doing and go do it. It's so good. You won't regret it.
There is the subbed version on Crunchyroll. I will admit I'm a peasant. I do not like watching subbed. I prefer dubbed because I watch anime while doing other things too.
Yeah, multitask.
So yeah, multitask for life.
Just learn Japanese, dog.
You know what? Sure, I'll get on that by tonight. I'll learn it by tomorrow.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
I do have it on DVD, which now looking at my box, I'm fairly positive is bootleg.
Oh, probably.
Probably. But it's very it's the dubbed version, which is just all greatly voice cast. Watch the show. If you can find it on any other streaming services, do it. It's worth it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Do it.
Man, yeah, just do it. Angel Beats. Wow. What an episode, actually. I feel like this was pretty good. I loved this one. It was a fun watch. It's a fun show. This was a good time. But hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and checking us out. Be sure to check out Schminkadelic on Spotify. I believe he also said he was on Apple Music, so you can check out his trance and dance tunes on there, as he's the creator of our intro and outro. So thank you, Schminkadelic. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/themenofzen. $3 a month gets you extra access to our bonus episodes, which unfortunately, because I know I'm not going to be the bearer of bad news right at the end, but I don't think we're going to have one this week. So sorry. If you do subscribe, cool, thank you so much, appreciate it.
Aiden will send some feedback.
Yeah, we're kind of with Aiden being out, we weren't necessarily up to recording 2 back-to-back. Plus, just as straight up, just so you know what we're doing, we're gonna do JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which was originally gonna be our big release for all streaming platforms, but since it's just me and Phil, I feel like maybe we were more hyped about Angel Beats than Aiden might have been.
Aiden's like the JoJo fan.
Yeah, he was the big JoJo fan, so we're gonna save JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for our next episode. So no Patreon this week if you do subscribe. Super sorry about that. We will try to make it up to you in the future, but we got this one. Please like, share, subscribe, anything that you listen to on Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Facebook, any of that stuff that you check us out on our Instagram, any of that stuff. Give it a like, give it a share, follow, give us a rating. If you rate us, please rate us whatever you think we deserve, which is the most.
It helps with the algorithm.
Best.
And all of our YouTube watchers, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, because guess what? Those likes really help with the YouTube algorithm, and we do really want to spread this podcast as wide as we can. There are episodes we have that are over 20 views right now, but then we have some that are literally getting 1 view, and it's like, what's going on here? It's crazy. Actually, the last Death Note, I just checked the other day, 1 view.
Yep.
But yet Overlord has almost 30.
Yep.
And it's just the 2 episodes we did right after another. So, but we really do appreciate every single person that watches these. We cannot tell you enough how much we enjoy doing this, and we would love to keep on doing this.
Yeah. So Maximum Fun, if you're out there, please sign us to your podcast label. We'll take Last Podcast Network too, LPN. We'll take that too. any of you guys,
we're
please?
we're a bit of a sloot, you know. We'll take whoever wants us,
please.
but let's hope Aiden gets better so we can have the full crew going on next episode, because it feels weird without him constantly judging me and like trying to like distract me from these episodes while we're talking.
Yeah, right. I'm missing that visual to my left over here. All right. Hey, thanks again for everybody for listening. Again, thanks to Sminkadelic. Check out our Patreon. This has been another episode of the Men of Zen. My name is Brent.
I'm Phil.
And Aiden couldn't be here. Hey, thanks again. We'll talk to you guys next time. Until next time, stay Zen.
Angel Beats.